Assalamu alaikum, it's me Mohammed Arshad. Today we will give a review on what we are learning from online education, a TED talk by Daphne Koller, and we will see what he talked about. Let's start. Let's begin with the context and speaker's background. Daphne Koller is a computer scientist by training and a co-founder of Coursera, together with Andrew Ng. The talk was delivered at TED event in 2012 that the online education wave was gaining momentum. The main idea of this talk was leveraging online platforms to make high quality education globally available while also using the data from large scale online classes to learn how people learn. Let's talk the structure of the talk. Uh, in the opening segment, caller shares her personal background, third generation PhD, comfortable access to elite education to establish contrast with global education inequality. Her problem statement was she points out major issues. Access to higher education is limited in many parts of the world. Cost of higher education in US rising rapidly. Many graduates end up in jobs that don't require their credentials. She then discussed possibilities. She described how online platforms, especially Coursera, have enabled massive enrollment. One course at Stanford has about 100,000 students, etc. And what is the difference? She explores how online courses differ, modules, chunks, interactive questions, inside videos, peer self-grading, rich data streams, etc. Her talk emphasis on how the data collect, click, quiz responses, peer interactions can let us move from hypothesis-based data-driven research on learning. And also asks if we make the best education available to all globally, what happens? Lifelong learning, unleashing talent everywhere. Also, universities may change, not disappear. And her conclusion was closure with the reflection on how education might shift from filling vessels to igniting minds and a call to collective opportunity. Well, let's discuss her key arguments and insights. Here are major claims and insights from her talk plus commentary. Access and affordability are broken in traditional systems. Example, in some countries, e.g. South Africa, the supply of university places is far too small. In the US, tuition has rising at rates faster than even healthcare costs. Implications: traditional higher education isn't scalable enough to meet global demand. Her second point was technology enables scale and models. The Stanford example, one course delivered to 100,000 students, a scale unattainable in a physical classroom. Through massive open online courses, you can reach globally, transcending geographic and economic barriers. Online courses can be more than video lectures. Color emphasis, design changes, short video modules, interactive pauses, questions in the video, adaptive paths, peer grading, and self grading helps to handle scale of assessment. She notes surprisingly good results from peer and self grading and by collecting every click, understanding where students pause, struggle, mapping common misconceptions. Example, thousands of students answered a question the same wrong way that give insight into the misconception and allow target remediation. Now, personalization and active learning are possible. The 2 sigma problem is mentioned that individual tutoring yields much higher learning than standard lectures. While you can give every student a personal tutor, you might approximate via intelligent online systems, active rather than passive. The student must engage, answer questions, get immediate feedback. And then she tells university will evolve, not disappear. Koller explicitly says that she doesn't see the demise of universities, but rather a shift. Lecture become less central, and universities can focus more on mentorship, critical thinking, social skills. Then she talk about global talent and lifelong learning. If the best education is available everywhere, then talent from any corner of the world can surface. Learning become lifelong, not just degrees at 18 and 22. Let's talk the stance of her talk, clarity and vision. Collar presents a compelling picture of what education could look like in digital age. She uses real data, enrollment numbers, video views, quizzes to substantiate claims rather than purely hypothetical. She acknowledged challenges, assessment scale, pedagogy, and possesses realistic solutions, peer grading, modularity, etc. Research oriented emphasis how scaling courses generates valuable data for improved learning, making it very relevant to ICT and educational technology research. Not just about rich countries, Kohler stresses global access and equity, which is very relevant from a thesis point of view. Now let's discuss limitations, critics area for discussion. While enrollment is massive, actual completion and meaningful engagement often drop off sharply in through Collar doesn't spend much time on this. While talk mention access, it doesn't deeply engage with infrastructure issues like internet connectivity, hardware availability, local language issue in lower source settings. Some worry that scalable online courses may sacrifice depth of interaction, mentorship, and enhanced feedback that in person environments afford. Kohler argues peer self grading helps, but they remain as open question. Credentialing and employment, the talk mentioned degree job mismatch but doesn't fully explore how employees view online credentials via traditional degrees and how local context is in Pakistan, other developing nations influence this. While she addresses it, the talk could dig deeper into how universities will structure faculty, physical infrastructure, and research mission in light of MOOC. Cultural contextual relevance. A course designed in a context may not fit learners in another language. Pedagogy, cultural reference. This is touched by lightly but not explored deeply. Well, relevance for our ICT exams. Uh, Her talk is very much relevant to us as it might frame chapter of her vision to argue that MOOCs in developing countries but also contrast with local realities. Now, my overall valuation on this is that I find this talk very strong for anyone interested in interaction of ICT and education. Caller presents a forward-looking but grounded vision. For it particularly valuable because it aligns with the idea of technological learning and IT-based learning. So, if I were to give a grade, I say it's an A presentation. Compelling, well structured, relevant, but some deeper engagement with ground level challenges would elevate it to an A. That is it for today. Hope you like it.